George Bien. This program is a follow-up to Psycho-Neuroaligning Part 1. And as with Part 1, it too was created to fill a specific need. As psychotherapists, hypnotherapists, body workers, energy healers, and so forth, we have tremendous responsibilities. And we're often expected to perform miracles. And if we don't, we're sometimes judged harshly. What people have to realize is that they themselves create the healing process. And it is the fact that it is their inner decision to heal and to sometimes not heal that's often difficult for them to comprehend. Understand that the will to heal and create lasting change doesn't have to be broadcasted universally, as encouraged by various other modes of human change. It can be an internally stated private decision, an agreement with your inner mind, a commitment between you and you. With Psycho-Neuroaligning, or PNA as it's commonly called, there is no need for the client to specifically share the exact nature of their problem. PNA gets to the source of people's many challenges without violating their privacy. It's a process that helps release the effects of people's significant emotional experiences and the recipient changes due to these experiences, sometimes in spite of themselves. William James, the father of American psychology, said that if we're going to change, we should do it immediately and flamboyantly. Yet, if the inner mind feels that a sudden change would be too traumatic, any change will be slower. In this, as in all cases, it's important that the change take place in its own time. Why then use a modality that's at the mercy of a person's unconscious? Well, the fact is that all lasting change happens on the unconscious level. Now, this is sometimes difficult to accept by many of those living in today's fast-paced society that expects microwave cures and results. Yet notice that I didn't say all change. I said all lasting change. If we want change to last, we have to impact the subconscious in a way that makes that change the most comfortable choice. Here again, the important word is the most comfortable choice. PNA goes beyond pedantic lab coat jargon. It's a practical modality that offers no gray areas. It simply is. And that's because the body doesn't lie. If I were continuously exposed to antagonistic energy, it would probably eventually cause a weakening within me. Yet if I were to simply regularly tap my thymus gland, I would find an increase in strength and physical comfort naturally. Hence, I can test strongly in spite of this ongoing antagonistic bombardment. Yes, that's how simple this process is. It has specific, easy-to-learn methods and techniques that can empower you and your clients in ways that sometimes seem almost miraculous. Muscle testing helps find emotional energies that interfere with emotional growth. As on the Psycho-Neuroaligning Part 1 video, here too, Dr. Anthony Cimino utilizes the most effective postures for muscle testing. You'll notice he has a subject, Marielle, stand with her strong arm, in this case, the right arm, in front of her. He then stands beside Marielle and places his left hand on her right shoulder for balance and places his right hand on her wrist and applies pressure. Now, when you do this with a client, make sure that they make their arm rigid enough to remain in position under pressure, but not react by lifting their arm when you apply the pressure. You see, some clients create this lifting response instinctively, so tell them to just remain steady. A question that is often asked is, what if a person you are testing is very weak? There's no way then that this person could resist any pressure placed on their arm and hand. Although it isn't demonstrated on this video, if the person you are testing is very weak, there may be a need for a surrogate. We simply have a basically strong, healthy person hold the weak individual appropriately while you test using the healthy person's arm. What's also wonderful about utilizing PNA, as previously stated, is that you can help a person effectively release emotional stress without having them tell you the exact nature of the problem. You see, it's not necessary to know or even understand what caused the energy. It's just important to have the person release it. The process also works fabulously in combination with other modalities and actually enhances their effectiveness. NLP's collapsing anchor process, for example, basically utilizes a visual future pace. Using PNA, we can test the body and get a more reliable response as to whether the significant emotional experience is truly cleared. For example, if a person consciously remembers something that triggers an emotional response such as fear, rejection, or anger, we would have a more dependable way of checking any residual effect of that emotional response. So let's say that the client usually experiences anger while in the presence of a certain person. Have your client think of being with that individual in a situation that they feel the anger. Test them to prove that the feeling is truly a debility. If this is the case, you'll notice they will maybe be a weakness. Now, to erase this energy, place your left hand on the person's right shoulder, left hand, squeeze gently and have them think of a wonderfully happy and enriching time in their life. A time about which they can smile and really get an emotional reaction. Hold this anchor for about 10 to 15 seconds. Then take your left hand off the anchor. Next, place your right hand on the right arm of the client, just below where your left hand had been. Squeeze gently and tell the person to think back to the anger-generating situation one more time. Now try to have them feel the experience with all the emotion that they can. Hold for a few seconds, or until you feel that they have finished the experience. Then remove your hand. Now have them clear their mind and think of something unrelated, such as a tree, a house, or anything else. Just make sure that they think of something that doesn't have emotional impact. Now this is what NLP calls a separator state. Then replace both hands to their original anchors, hold for about 10 or 15 seconds. Now remove your right hand and continue to hold the empowering anchor of the happy experience with your left hand for a few more seconds. Then wipe the area of the anchors with your left hand. Now retest the experience. In almost all cases, the weakness will usually be gone. There are almost an infinite amount of cases where PNA can be used solely or as an adjunct to an already effective modality. Now, whether you're a professional therapist, a healer, simply a person who wants to make his or her life more effective and the lives of loved ones and much more comfortable, this video gives you practical life-enhancing tools that are highly effective and easy to learn. The trainer of this program is Dr. Anthony Cimino, who holds doctorates in humanistic psychology and naturopathic medicine. He is a clinical hypnotherapist, psychotherapist, and a kinesiologist, and is the recipient of numerous awards in healthcare and the field of education. Dr. Cimino has taught nutrition at Nassau Community College and lectured in chiropractic nutrition at the New York Chiropractic College at Hofstra University. He is the creator and director of the first holistic hypnotherapist certification program. He's also the author of numerous books on nutrition, including the top-selling A Diet of Luxury, and co-author of the international seller Hypnokinesiology, A First Step to a New You. And now, Dr. Anthony Cimino and Psycho-Neuroaligning, Part 2. Tony, it's good to see you again.
It's nice to be here, George. I
been a
enjoy
while.
being here.
It's been a while since we did that last video, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's been a while.
Psycho-Neuroaligning.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is sort of, what, it's a continuation?
It's a continuation of a process. As you very well know, it's the name of the center, mind-body integration. What we're attempting to do is to show that to alleviate psychosomatic and somatopsychic conditions by testing certain muscles and by making contact much more specifically and much more sophisticatedly in certain parts of the body.
Okay, so the last one's more generalized?
Mm-hmm. Generalized generalized.
Then this one becoming more specific.
Yes.
Now, specific in what way? In other words, do you have to become more sensitive to certain things?
Yes. So we will specify, we will specifically test for the structure of the body, a specific muscle that may be impaired, or we will test for nutrition toxicity, for a specific emotion, for the integrity of the meridians or the electricity of the body. We will test for the possibility of the existence of parasites, bacteria, and viruses of an inordinate nature, and then attempt to correct those. And if the correction is not made, then we will accordingly recommend other people.
You can test and retest, test and retest. So if the correction is being made,
it's a good way for anybody who's practicing to begin networking with other practitioners and specialists. For example, if you're testing for the structure of the body, that involves chiropractic, orthopedics, osteopathy. If you're testing for emotions, psychiatry and psychoanalysis. And if there's a nutritional deficit, nutritional counseling. That's why I encourage people to become as holistic as possible in their practice.
Now, let me ask you something. Just how accurate is this really? I know in the first tape you were saying that it's very accurate, but just how accurate is this? Let's say you said testing for parasites. That have specific tests for parasites that the reps at MD would do. Now, would this be as accurate as a test like that?
Well, what it would show or demonstrate is that there are the presence of parasites. And if after correcting the condition the parasites still exist, then it's recommended that they follow some kind of a nutritional regimen or medical protocol to clear those up.
Okay, now let's back up a little. You said if after correcting it, so in other words, you could actually correct it with the Psycho-Neuroaligning?
Yes, there are ways of correcting it so that when you increase there's an electrical blockage. When you relieve that blockage and the electromagnetic flow or the electricity is enhanced, that in itself will diminish the presence of parasites, bacteria, and viruses, because electricity is an antioxidant. It's also an antibiotic, and it just kills microorganisms. So the reason for their presence is the blockage, in many cases, of this electromagnetic flow.
All right, so let's say there's some people who heal themselves, okay, through either beliefs or through a certain regime they go through. Now, is it because of they're, let's say, increasing this electricity?
Because we are electromagnetic and we're biochemical. And if there's a diminution in the electromagnetic flow, there's a weakness. If our chemicals are not, for example, the neurotransmitters, one of the important ones is acetylcholine, which helps us to communicate, helps cells to communicate with one another. If there's a diminution of that, or if there's a blockage of receptor sites for it because of the presence of a chemical called acetaldehyde, then there will be discomfort, and it will be demonstrated as an allergy or candida or asthma, and in many other ways. And by alleviating this or by correcting it, we're establishing a foundation for a correction and wellness.
So if a person can maintain the electrical energy at a very high level, perhaps they would be able to be free of disease.
Yes. Well, theoretically.
Theoretically.
Of course, if there's too much electromagnetic energy, that may cause discomfort too, and that's manifested in the testing. So what we do is weaken that, and we create a state of homeostasis or alignment.
So you want to balance.
Psycho-Neuroaligning. You know how I feel about the word balancing.
Okay. Well, say something about the word balance.
Well, I don't think you really balance anything. I think what you do, for example, today if you go into an automobile shop, they don't balance your car wheels, they align them. And that's what I work toward, is an alignment, a harmony, an equilibrium of sorts,
So too much of this electrical energy would
may cause
discomfort.
May cause discomfort too.
And too little would cause discomfort.
And there's a way of testing for that, which I will demonstrate tonight.
And you brought a subject here today?
Oh yes, a colleague and an author and a master's candidate in nutrition, Marielle Samus, and she is willing to, and she's consented to help us demonstrate these.
Help us demonstrate and possibly, and probably teach us something too.
Of course.
Well, great, let's bring her out now then.
Good.
Okay, Tony, what are you going to demonstrate now with Marielle?
I would like to repeat one of the processes that we demonstrated on the first video as a lead-in to a much more intricate and much more advanced process. I'm going to ask Marielle to extend her right arm, since she indicated it was her stronger arm. I will depress it using two fingers, and I ask her to just maintain a rigidity and avoid lifting her arm to combat me, and not to challenge me. And I will alert her when I'm going to apply pressure by saying the word hold. Hold. Good. Now I will align her and make certain that I'm indicating or establishing a strong indicator muscle, which is the deltoid, by asking her to look straight ahead, but to maintain her head in a forward position. Now look to the right and hold. That's good. Now look to the left and hold. Good. That indicates initial alignment. Now I'm going to check her for what we call brain integration. Is there enough acetylcholine in the corpus callosum to permit proper communication between the right and left hemisphere? By having her look at this, see? And she's testing weak, which shows that there's a diminution of the acetylcholine. Now I'll ask her to put her hand over her heart and look at this again and test, which shows that there's heart disintegration. It's not pernicious. It means that there's a diminution of the integrity of communication. And how will we correct that? I'm going to ask her to do a parroting exercise just by taking the opposite hand, placing it on the opposite knee. Let's do that, Marielle. And in addition to that, we hum and count at the same time. I like the twinkle, twinkle, little star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For about 15 to 30 seconds. I usually make it part of my shower routine. Now, and test again. Hold again strong. Now I'll ask you to look at that X again. Hold. Good. That's strengthened it. Now place your hand over your heart and look at this. That's fine.
Just like
now, that has generated a lot of acetylcholine because the acid aldehyde in the system covers the receptor sites. And when we do the patterning exercises, more acetylcholine is generated and there's more discernment. You're able to make this out. Now, what we're going to do is now use a much more sophisticated test. I'm going to make contact with your solar plexus, ask you to extend your arm. I'm going to take 5 fingers and place them here, and I'll ask you to hold. Hold that good and strong. Hold. Okay. That indicates to me that there's now a specific process in her body that is to be corrected. And we go ahead and examine that. And we do that by asking her to place her thumb, and we're going to use the thumb will be used in all of these processes. The pad of the thumb will make contact with the individual fingers and will also make contact with the nails. We'll start with structure.
I'm talking about this specific
Pad of the thumb as opposed to the nail.
Okay.
The pad of the thumb contacting the pad of the index finger. And while you're doing that, we're going to check now for the structure of the body. Is there some structure that caused her to test weak? Hold it in strong? Oh, that's strong. Now let's test for a specific muscle. The pad of the thumb now makes contact with the nail of the index finger. Test. Hold. Good. That's clear. Now, the pad of the thumb and the pad of the middle finger, we're testing now for nutrition. Now she's a nutritional master's. Okay, let's see. Very strong. Is there any toxicity? See the pad of the thumb and the nail of the middle finger.
Let's make sure that people can see that. Let's just do that one more time, Tony, with the first one. And just this hand alone. Just this hand. Let me get a close-up of this hand.
Okay.
Let him go for a second.
The pad of the thumb
close up here
with the pad of the index finger for structure.
Okay, structure.
The pad of the thumb placed over the nail of the index finger
Over the nail.
for a specific weak muscle.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now the pad of the thumb and the pad of the middle finger to test for nutrition.
That's nutrition.
Okay?
Okay.
And the pad of the thumb over the nail for a toxicity.
Toxicity.
Now she's tested strong for both of those. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to test her for an emotion. That's the pad of the thumb and the pad of the ring finger.
All right. Okay.
Okay? Oh, good strong?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now let's test for a specific emotion which your body knows without you even telling me what that emotion is. Okay?
And that's what they on top of
That's
that.
the pad of the thumb over the nail of the ring finger. Hold it. Okay. All right. Now let's test you for the pad of the thumb and the pad of the little finger.
Mhm.
This is testing for meridian integrity or the electricity of the body. Hold it in strong. Okay. So we have identified.
What about the nail?
No, that's something else. We don't want to get into that. But that is for another tape.
I'm guessing.
There's an indication that there's one specific emotion which your body knows, which is to be corrected.
Mhm.
Okay? Now,
No, you said, sorry, let me back up a little. You say her body knows. So Marielle's body knows. Marielle may not know herself
That's
consciously.
and what I'm saying is I like to deal in terms of awareness and automatic awareness. The automatic awareness part of you, which they used to refer to as subconscious, and I really don't know what that means. And even when they use the word unconscious, to me, somebody like that is dead. I think of it as an automatic awareness or the automatic pilot. Your automatic pilot knows what that particular emotion is, okay? And we're going to retest it by taking the pad of the thumb, placing it over the nail of the ring finger, and testing you again, okay? Hold it in strong. Now, what I want you to do
You feel the difference, huh?
Yes.
is say this. Each day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Each day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Just say it one more time.
Each day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Okay, now let's make that contact again and see if this had any effect. Hold it good and strong. Not bad.
Just those few words.
Emile Cui.
Right in the quick.
That's right. Now, I'm going to test you now for the presence of parasites. There are two ways to test for that. One of the ways is to, as I demonstrated to you, fold your fingers, okay? And now take the pad of your thumb and make contact with the pad of your little finger.
Okay, now, let's see.
Let's do it this hand.
You fold the fingers.
Fold the fingers,
Let's get a close up of this.
okay? This is a test, one of the tests for parasite involvement, okay? Are we good and strong? All right. We all have parasites, okay? Every day. So
Don't keep me away from Marielle.
Now, there's another way to test for it. Place your hand right here, okay? Hold it good and strong.
Okay, now where specifically? Make sure the video can see that too.
Just above the abdomen on the left side.
Uh-huh.
Just lateral to the navel, right here.
Okay, and the hand again. One more time, the hand.
Now the hand, folding the fingers,
Mhm.
making contact with the thumb and the little finger.
Thumb and the little finger on top.
Pads.
The pad. The pads.
Okay.
The pads of the
Fold
tongue.
the fingers, okay?
You fold the fingers and the
Alright.
pads.
Now do that again, hold it. Okay. Now let's see if we're going to correct, let's create some electricity. Each day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Each day, in every way, I'm getting better and better.
And look at this. Now each day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Each day, in every way, I'm getting better.
All right, let's test you again for parasites. Okay? Hold it good and strong. How about that?
Tony, come on.
Take your,
Yes.
you feel it.
I do.
Put your hand in. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony.
We're creating electricity. In other words, what we've done is relieve a blockage. Now the electromagnetic energy is flowing freely, and it's handling. It's
Now the parasites all of a sudden like boom, they
well,
split.
they're excreted in the feces and usually in the feces.
Yeah, but the thing is what are they killed by this process?
They're rendered
Inactive?
static.
Static
Okay?
inactive?
Just like bacteria becomes bacteriostatic. Okay?
Every day, every way, I'm getting better and better. And
And-
that
Remember, Emil Cui suggested that his clients say that 10 times
Right.
more than 10 times a night. You know what? They get better.
Every day in every way. I'm getting
Each
better.
day in every way,
Each
I'm
day in
getting
every way.
better and better. Now let's test you.
That's-
Let's test you for viruses. Okay?
Okay, now.
Folded, fingers folded, making contact. The pad of your thumb, the pad of your middle finger.
Now, why the right hand, left hand now rather than the right hand?
In either
Doesn't
hand,
matter?
either hand,
Doesn't
either
matter.
hand. As a matter of fact, it's possible for me to do it
Okay.
because there's an exchange of energy.
So the other hand.
Hold it in strong. Okay. Bacteria is clear. So
That's-
he's bacteria
good.
static. Now we're going to check for viruses. Again, that same movement, except now you take your index finger and make contact with the joint of your thumb.
Okay, so let's get a close-up of this. Let the camera zoom in on
Making
this one.
contact.
The first one for the bacteria, the viruses and the bacteria. Which one? How do they
All right,
differentiate?
The viruses are, the bacteria is this. The thumb, the pad of the thumb, contact with the middle finger.
And should the others, these be bent then?
Yes, bent.
These are bent. Okay.
Now, then the virus, you just merely take your index finger and make contact with the joint of your thumb.
With the joint of your thumb.
Okay,
This
and that's
joint.
a test. This one right here.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, that's your joint right there.
And now with the nail, but with the finger itself.
And the pad itself, yeah, the pad
Oh,
itself,
it's-
it's immaterial, actually, just so you make contact, okay?
Okay.
Now, let's test you, we're gonna test you now for the presence of viruses. Okay, it's strong. Okay.
That means, what does that mean?
It means that she's
clear.
she's relatively clear of viruses.
Good.
Okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
Those are the specific tests for that. Now, I'm gonna go back now that we've cleared that. Say please again, each day in every way, I'm getting better and better.
Each day in every way I'm getting better and
Just one more time, please.
each day in every way I'm getting better and
Thank you, Dr. Sentence. Now I'm gonna apply the test again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold it.
Fabulous.
All right.
And she says it, I mean, in such a special way.
Of course. Yes. And
Excellent.
that is one segment of it, and then we'll move on to something else.
Well, Tozy, let's close down right here.
Okay.
And we'll set up for the next segment.
Very good.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.